morning class. As you know, the procedure when we come in, you will be starting on our June now, so please look up on our projector here. You're actually not going to be needing your Chromebooks at this moment, so I'm going to close them or put them at 45 would be recommended. You probably won't need them for until about 10 minutes from now. So if you're having anxiety, just get all those shakes out right now. So please, what you're going to be doing right now is reading our cue prompter here. The words will be moving down the screen. There'll be 3 questions at the end. We're going to be reading for 1 minute on the nose. So I will start the timer and read for 1 minute, and we'll answer 3 questions afterwards in our presentation here. We're practicing our reading for, actually, I'll tell you what, right afterwards. So you're reading for important details as we read here. 1 minute on the clock. That was not the right button. Let's get started. Halfway there. Here more. Ten more seconds. Last 5 seconds. And time. So, as you remember, as we've been reading the last few days, this is from Adventures of a Nepali Frog. And this is what we read 2 days ago, the beginning of the book. And so just have a few questions here. So but first, before you answer, read the question, think to yourself, what happened first in this story that we read? A, Bhakta Prasad announced he was going to leave home. B, Budi Prasad gives permission to leave. Or C, Bhakta Prasad gazed down on the Kathmandu Valley. Think to yourself for a second. Show your partner, what do you think, A, B, or C? Show your group. Sarah, what do you think?
C.
C, Bhakta Prasad gazed down on the Kathmandu Valley. You read a very key detail there. That is correct. Question number 2, please. Let's see. What size were the buildings in Kathmandu? Were they gigantic? Were they tall? Were they tiny? Think to yourself what you read for that 1 minute. Take your group. Randy, what do you think? Were they gigantic? Were they tall? Or were they tiny?
A.
Sorry.
A.
A. What do you think back there, Amanda?
Between A or B. But I thought A.
Oh, well, I thought it was A too. They're gigantic. Question number 3. Why did Bhakta Prasad want to leave home? The elders told him what to do. He wanted to do what his grandfather did. Or C, he wanted to experience life out of the Ichangu rice paddy. Place partner. Anyway, man, what do we think? I don't even know why we're going to have a whole lesson about narratives here because we got 3 questions and 3 questions all correct. Nice work reading for details here, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about narratives. And so our objective for today, which should be written on the board, is to recreate accurate chronology of events and descriptive details from Adventures of a Nepali Frog. Now, Amanda, you're in the back, so I need to make sure that the whole back understands this. Can you read the objective for me, please? Can you read that?
Recreate accurate chronology of events and descriptive details from Adventures of a Nepali Frog.
Great, Hannah. So what's our verb here? What's the thing that we're doing?
We're going to recreate.
Boom. All right. So just going to focus on that verb here, recreate. So what we're going to be focusing on is recreating something. So let's talk about narrative. So a narrative is a story. It's a simple word. You hear the word narrative. I know for me sometimes I'm like, what am I talking about? So a narrative, we're talking about a story. Whether it's Harry Potter or we're talking about Pretty Little Liars, it's a story. Who tells a narrative? Think about the word narrative. Who do you think is the one who's telling the story in a narrative? Sarah.
Narrator.
Oh, big time. We got a narrator. The narrator is the one who's telling the story here. And so we're going to talk about two important things in a narrative, in a story. If you're reading one or you're writing one, there are two things that you need to be having. We're going to be talking about the logical order of events, or as you read from the objective, the chronology, the order things happen. And two, we're going to talk about descriptive details. It's two really important things that we need in our narratives. And you're going to practice that. You're going to recreate a story that you're going to read from the Nepali Frog, and when we're separated into our groups. One of the short chapters. So why are these important? Why do you need to do that? I'm going to tell you a story, and you're going to tell me what I did well in telling you the story, or you're going to tell me what I could have done better. Harry Potter, you might have some familiarity with him, killed Lord Voldemort. And then in a fury, he stabbed the Basilisk Bane into Tom Riddle's diary. And shortly before then, he just woke up one morning as a baby to have Lord Voldemort pointing his wand right in the face, just like those pictures describe. What did I do well in telling this really exciting story, or what did I not do well in telling this story? Tell your C partners. Hey, what do you think? What did I do? What did I do really well because I'm really good at this, or what should I have done better? Okay, so there's some details in there. We're gonna get to that in our next slide too about that detailed part. Thank you. I felt really complimented by that. But there's something I didn't do that well though, maybe while telling that story. I know I'm a teacher, but maybe it's something I didn't do that well.
You went backwards.
I went backwards. What do you mean?
You told the story, you told the end of the story first and worked your way to the beginning.
Oh. So what's the consequence? What happens if I tell it backwards? Why is that a problem, Randy?
It's hard to follow.
It's hard to follow. It's definitely hard to follow. It's still exciting, kind of, right? But it's hard to follow, and maybe it's just not accurate. You're not going to have suspense, all of those feelings that you feel while reading this narrative, that you're going along with Harry, you want him to win, you want things to happen. Now it's backwards, you're like, well, what happened? No one would have read all the Harry Potter books if they came backwards. So it's hard to follow, and it's not getting the important chronology of events. They need to be accurate. They need to make sense. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to follow. Second one, we have two sentences here, one on the left, one on the right, and I want to figure out why one of them's better than the other. Sarah, can you read the one on the left, and then Nate, I'm going to have you, after she's done, read the one on the right.
The Pretty Little Liars could not find out who ate is.
Thank you, Sarah. Nate?
In their desperate time of need, the Pretty Little Liars hopelessly worked to uncover the identity of the devious snake.
What's better about sentence one, or better about sentence two, in your opinion? Tell your C partners quickly. All right, we got Hannah.
The second one has more detail, so it has more emotion.
Okay, so it's got more details, got more emotion, and it seems like an obvious question, but why would that be better than the first one that's got more details?
I know what's going on.
So you know what's going on? Okay, Sarah, you have something to add to that?
It's more intriguing. You want to know what's going on.
See, that's even the more important, that you're now captivated by this, right? You know that it's been hopelessly working, that they're desperate. There's a lot more that you're now intrigued by. You want to know more. You want to read on. This is much more on sentence one, kind of surface level. And I'll read it because I can read, but I don't really want to read anymore. All right, so it's about to be your turn to work on those two things. Working on descriptive details, reading for descriptive details, and having an accurate order of events. We're going to do those in our groups. But in our sort of larger framework, why is this important? And we've been talking about change and how we can, how it is that we change, that our environment is changing. And I want to talk about the impact of environment on you and your ability to change. Or in this case, we're reading about Bhakta Prasad, the main character in Adventures of the Nepali Frog. So if you're having bad encounters with the Omaha police, that's going to affect you negatively. That environment is going to change who you are. It's going to change your community. It's going to change how you view the police, how that you walk down the street, how you sleep at night. Or if you're in a really loving community who's always looking out for each other. Right? They're playing bags out on the street, looking out for each other, that's gonna start to impact your worldview. That is gonna change how you are, even internally, based on your environment. So our environment for Bhakta Prasad, as he's exploring Nepal, that is going to change him. So we're gonna have 3 groups. And before I get you to move here, we're gonna practice some of the words, and then I'm gonna go through our expectations for what's gonna happen in our group work here and what it is that you're going to recreate. All right, I think I got you? All right. I'm gonna say a word, and I want you to repeat it for me, so when you're reading it alone, you're just like, oh, I've seen this word before. So our first one, of course, we got Bhakta Prasad. Everyone? Pretty good, you guys are Nepalis. This one on the far right, we have Ichengu. Great. Jagat, everyone. Bahadur, everyone. I'm going to do that one more time. Bahadur, everyone. Perfect. Lamo Lama. Tarai. And Booty Prasad, everyone. We're going to say that one more time because you did a great job, but I just think it's fun. Booty Prasad. Okay, so those are names that you'll be encountering in our groups here. Here's how it's going to work. If you're ever unsure about what you're supposed to be doing at this time, you're going to be working your way down into our thinking. So we're going to read a chapter in groups. Sarah and Amanda, you're going to read one chapter. I'm going to have Nate and Randy, you read one chapter here. And then Hannah, you're going to work with me and a group over here. So you're going to read individually for 4 minutes. So quietly on your own, get through the 4 minutes. Then you're going to work, from that point, you'll be in a group. And you're going to complete a group doc, and if you go to that Weebly page, you can pull that open, and we'll go ahead and do that now before we split up into groups so that we can work on that. Randy and Nate, you're gonna click on the Tarai group doc. Amanda and Sarah, please click on the Mango group doc. When you have that, I'm gonna come around, make sure you got that open. And you're going to complete that group doc, which hopefully will take you about 5 minutes to do. And you're only going to need to complete 1 per group. So as long as one of you has your computer, we're working on it, that'll be fine. And then after that, what you're going to do with that information, you're looking for 3 details. You're also looking for 3 events that happened in the chapter that you read. You're going to fill that into the box, and you're going to recreate that story by telling an in plain English quick hitter video. You're going to make a video, it's going to be 1 minute, and you're going to submit that to me. So you'll see a link big on the Weebly that is an example video. So before you start making your video, I would watch that with your partner, just let you know what sort of the expectations are. You can use your Chromebook for that. You can use your phone for that. We've practiced using Google Air, that Google Hangouts. That is one way, that's how I created my video, went straight to YouTube. I encourage you to do that as well, because we practiced it. If you have another way you'd like to do it on your phone, that's chill, you know. You're American, so you can figure this out. And there was a link on the Weebly for where to submit that when you're completed. I felt like that was a lot of me just talking there for a little bit. Let's summarize what your group's going to do. Amanda or Sarah, can you tell me a little bit about what your group's going to do?
Okay, so we're the Mango group, and we're going to read this individually, and then we're going to go on Google Doc and put in 3 events and 3 details that are in our words about what happened. And from there, we're going to do a Hangouts video of our kind of like quick information, kind of like key points.
Perfect. Does that sound like what that makes sense to Nate and Randy? Hannah, you're going to be with me right here. And one last instruction is that I thank you for repeating those instructions accurately, Sarah. That was very helpful, because I realized I did not point out these over here. For your, when you've completed your worksheet, there are some characters, some sketches over here that you may find helpful for making your in plain English video. So you're going to just quietly come up, get what you need for your group. If you want to color it, there's some colors here. If you need to draw your own on a piece of paper, this is your recreation of the story. The more engaging it is, the better. You have 17 minutes, but about 14 minutes is probably the time that I will check in with you as Hannah and I are wrapping up in our individual group here. So Hannah, if you want to move your way over here, I think everyone has the materials that they need to get going. You only need 1 group doc per group, so as long as you have that. And we'll get started here. I'm going to put this timer down here. Great, so let me explain a little bit about our procedure. You'll need your own in about 10 to 12 minutes, so that's perfect. Okay. So we're gonna read our own chapter here. And we're gonna be practicing reading on our fluent reading. So we're working on, that's three things: the speed that you're reading, your accuracy, and your expression. So we're gonna read this multiple times through. And each time we'll have a little bit of objective. We'll go over words that you did or did not get wrong. It goes on to the back here. And our overall framework, they're working on those descriptive details. They're working on the events in order. And we're gonna take a little bit bigger view. We're gonna talk about that change. So our ultimate question we're gonna get to is how the environment changed here from how did Bhakta Prasad change the result of this environment?
I can do it.
Follow along. Yeah, I can do it if you prefer pen, we can get to one. So I'm going to have you read for a minute. And then end of a minute, then we'll stop and go over it. So please do your best reading from Habit, and you're gonna tell me at the end of it what's this part of the story mostly about. Writing.
Having quenched his thirst with the yak that received, Dr. Prasad hopped back to his perch on the Lama Lama's back. The novices, including Lama Lama, finished their recitation and folded up their scriptures, while the senior monk continued their readings. This gave Lama Lama the opportunity to turn the frogs on his shoulder and explain what the prayers were about. Dr. Prasad listened closely. It was all about the need to understand the nature of the world and the role of all creatures. Living was a cycle from birth to death, to rebirth, to re-death, and so on. All unthinking creatures live by instinct, and thinking creatures such as us people and you guys have additional responsibilities as we govern this world. Above all, we have to show compassion and understanding to all creatures. You see, Dr. Prasad, the best quality of any creature is the ability to see things from other things. You are a good and wise person, and you are able to do that. Because all the conflict and quarrel, particularly
Alright, so I got you to read up to among. Before we go over that, let's what is you say this story is mostly about?
It's
Part of the
about
message.
Dr. Prasad living from Lama
Lama. You did a good job pronouncing that as Lama Lama.
about like their responsibility as a frog, and they seem to be like humans and like all the other animals. So he was saying that like frogs and humans have additional responsibilities because they can identify with each other.
Great summary about what Bhakta Prasad learned from Lama Lama about how he can identify with other animals and is now sort of seen himself in a different view. So you read up to the word among, that's 176, 77, 78, 179 words in a minute that time. I only have one error that you encountered there, was skipping the word to. So can you read the sentence correctly, please?
This gave Lama Lama the opportunity to strength to the frog on the shoulder and explain what the things were about.
Perfect. All right, so that's only one error that you read. That's excellent accuracy. That's one of the three things that we're practicing. So we're gonna start again from the top. I imagine you will read more words accurately this time. And you're gonna tell me what is this, not last time, tell me what it's mostly about. So you're gonna tell me the most important thing that happens when you this read. Okay. Again, reading from having, please. Ready, begin.
I would touch this thirst in that part to Dr. Prasad hopped back to his perch on the Lama Lama's back. The novices, including Lama Lama, finished their recitation and pulled up their scriptures, while the senior monks continued their readings.
Okay.
This gave Lama Lama the opportunity to turn to the frog and to show cards which explained what the prayers were about. Dr. Prasad listened to recitation. It was all about the need to understand the nature of the world.
This is the role of the living was the big house.
Living was a cycle that we were to rebirth, to rebirth, and so on. While unthinking creatures live by respect, thinking creatures such as us people, we frogs have additional responsibilities as we go through the cycle.
So that
Above all,
has one of the
we have to show compassion and understand the other creatures.
was
Three
retired
factors
out of the
best
bus
quality
right at the
any
chase of the
the ability to see things from the other
so
who are a good and wise person, you are able to stay with all the conflict and quarrels, particularly among humans. Some of us get selfish and use
Stop.
the combination of bus right for right and chase. So
What is the most important thing that happens in this part of the passage?
just secure and looking
And it's this sentence.
Okay, read it for me.
Above all, we have to show compassion and understanding of other creatures.
Okay. Most important thing is that both that Bhakta Prasad learned and that Vinay learned from him, who's a above all, it's important to show compassion and understanding to other creatures. I think that's an excellent, most important idea to take away from that. Excellent work readings for, not just for, we have reading for details and reading for main ideas. That's an excellent job. Last time you read to a monk, that was 179 words. This time you read to inconsiderate, so you read 187 words that time. That's 8 more words per minute. And you also decreased your errors that time, so you got no errors to speak of at that point. So we're gonna go on and finish this document here, reading from there. Before we get started, what do you predict is gonna happen to the rest of this document? Effective readers are able to sort of predict what's upcoming. What do you predict is happening in the rest of this passage?
I think they're gonna keep talking. Hopefully, sideways. I think Bachelor's probably gonna ask like questions. Because a lot of
That first question.
yeah, so
Okay.
maybe like asking some questions.
Okay, sort of some of your own experience going, well, maybe one person stops on, now they get a question part. Let's see if we can make that prediction accurate. I'm gonna ask you again, what's this second part of the passage mostly about reading next? So please start reading from Bud for 1 minute. Ready, begin.
But of course, that is true. The window opened back to the side mind. It also dawned on him that frogs were not the most important creatures on earth, something he had unquestioningly assumed until that time. His own trip through the various parts of Nepal, Dr. Prasad had seen and met so many creatures, and there were thousands of other kinds he had not even met. This earth was home not only to frogs, but to earthworms, squirrels, Siberian cranes, Lammergeier vultures,
Good.
wasps, mosquito butterflies, snow leopards, blue shred humans, and umbre heroes, which survived underground by gnawing the roots of plants. All these beings and things have a separate existence, and yet they were all connected with each other as part of a larger system. Ultimately, everything depends upon everything else for survival, even if it is not immediately after this. On the line, saying that what he said was making an impression. No one person or thing is all important in itself, and all are linked.
Stop. Okay, so the passage to tell me what was the main idea of this. I'm actually gonna switch vein and go back to your prediction. So your prediction was that he's gonna, Dr. Prasad is gonna ask more questions. Was that prediction accurate?
No, it wasn't, but in some ways it sort of was, because like, the focus of this passage was like Dr. Prasad thinking. So I went to him, but it wasn't asking questions.
Okay, so it's okay that the prediction wasn't accurate. More important than is being able to confirm whether it was accurate. And you then told me what it was mainly about, which is still Dr. Prasad's thinking as a result of Lama Lama's these conversations about his thinking, no questions. So you nailed both what it's mostly about and whether your prediction was accurate. This time you read up to the word linked. I'm not a math teacher, so I'm not gonna subtract 350, what's that? 188 from 354. You can do that in your head, like immediately. Go ahead. In the meantime, we're going to read one more time from that spot that we read before. Tell me the most important detail from this. Then we're going to read together to the end if you don't make it there. And then we're going to move to this question about change. Okay. 1 minute on the clock. Ready? Yeah.
But of course that is true. I will not open to the practice of salad. It also dawned on me that frogs were not the most important creatures on earth. Something he had unquestioningly assumed that his own trip of various parts of Nepal, Dr. Prasad had seen and met so many creatures. There were thousands of other kinds they hadn't met. This earth is home not only to frogs, but to earthworms, squirrels, Siberian cranes, Lammergeier vultures, wasps, mosquitoes, butterflies, snow leopards, blue sheep, humans, and humanoid heroes, which survived underground by gnawing roots and animals. All these beings and things were separate existences, and yet they were all connected with each other and part of a larger scheme. Ultimately, everything depends upon everything else for survival. Even if it is not immediately possible, and that what he said was making an impression. No one person or thing is all important in itself, and all are linked.
So I read to the exact same spot as you last time in a minute. That shows excellent consistency that you're reading, and so still getting 0 errors there. But I want you to tell me what was the most important detail from you just read.
Probably like the idea that frogs are not the most interesting creatures.
Excellent.
Something we assumed.
Something he had assumed. He's his sort of worldview. I think this is going to be a great segue into talking about how his environment has changed him. What it's I saw I was working in the set. Thank you. I appreciate that, Hannah. and we'll be talking about that. So, brought up the most important thing. Meant to compliment you on was your expression, especially as you were talking about lammergeier, vultures, wasps, mosquitoes. Easily could be the most boring part of the pest mosquito list, but I heard your voice go up and go down, so that was excellent. So let's read together here. Finish up. We're going to be right at sheep. Keep your voices fine. If you read from sheep to dice, we're going to ask that questions about change. Sheep need grass, and grass has to have soil, and the soil is kept fertile by sheep droppings. That's how everything is linked in a cycle. The thrum of the gongs, the lights dancing about on the altar, and the rhythmic chanting of the monks had a curious effect on Bhakta Prasad. Till now, he had used his mind only to observe the outside world through the medium of his eyes and ears. Now he directed his mind inward and tried to understand the meaning of why he roamed, why creatures lived, why they died. If you have that document open, that was for our excellent. What I want you to think about is how his environment changed him. I'm going to go check in with our new student. I'll be right back to have a dialogue with you about that. You're going to answer on that. If you want to write and brainstorm the ideas before you get that, you may absolutely borrow my pen, and I'll be right back with you.
Is this connected to that?
Well, because they're being chased by the
Yes.
so they're being chased by the dog.
And you make a video. Okay, so you can do it on your phones if you have your phones with you. You may also go to hangouts.google.com and do a hangout there. Which would you be at? Just use your phone, great. So that'll be something you can put it in this little drive and or share the link to this. Share the link. So let's turn in video. So when you have your video, then you can this video. All right, got you 3 and 3. 3 events. Great. So best practice is to do it all in one take. Right? I'm not giving you all sorts of editing software, so you got this. You're the storytellers here. Okay, you got what you need.
Is it just like reading little things?
You're telling the story, so I would make sure you include your 3 details and your 3 events in your story that you're telling. If reading it helps you, follow your minutes you have. Write yourself a little script. We've still got about 4 minutes at least, so you got time. Especially for a 1 minute video, you got 3 minutes of fluff. Great.
Okay, don't have to set up.
Be right with you.
I think I do it on the side of like, it's all just but we gotta get hangouts. I think I
The grandpa
so then.
You can also just use your normal video function, put it in Google Drive, right, and you have a link and hit submit it using the turn-in video. It's a Google form to submit that. Okay. And in your story that you're telling, make sure to include your 3 events in chronological order
we're supposed
and
to.
your 3 descriptive details. Do you notice?
Just 3 details.
Okay. Do you have all of those?
Yes. Yes.
We got 3 minutes left. We'll might give you a little bit of an overtime, but I think you're on the right track right now. And so, how has his environment changed? What is the change that he's had, and how does it result of his environment?
So I think he would have more compassion due to an understanding of the connectedness of the world.
So.
Okay, so that's the
That's
change
the
that he had.
change, yeah.
He grew.
Yeah.
Like he's bigger now.
No, he was like, in substance, he's emotionally bigger, but no, like he went from having this like unconnected, less compassionate view of the world to more compassionate, more interconnected.
Great. So the change that he had is internal,
Yeah.
and where he's more compassionate and he's more interconnected with these other beings. Excellent. Now, how did this happen? How does this happen for him?
Lama ultimately,
I think so.
was explaining to him.
Okay.
And then I can
What's inspired like
So-
So if he's still in his rice paddy, he's still back hanging out with Bhakti Prasad and everyone else, just that. So as a result of this experience, as he's moving on, he's encountered Lama Lama, and this new experience that he's had the opportunity with Lama Lama has now led to these exact any internal changes in the path.
Okay.
And we used to try to describe that using sentence starter 1, sentence starter 2, because there's a blank here and a blank here. If you get through both of those, then you can just those supporting details, these are the two I want you to concentrate on, so you run out of time, you get arrested.
This is here. Now we just have to.
Got the video made?
Yes,
Is it Martin Scorsese quality?
yes.
Sorry,
More James Cameron.
One
but-
second.
a little James Cameron.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it could have Leo in it either way. Who was Leo? Was it Nate? Was it Dr. Prasad?
It's probably wrong.
We're trying to do over here. And we're catching emails. Thank you.
Is this, no, that's. Using the quick wittedness which would serve him so well in the days ahead, Dr. Prasad got an idea as he looked out of the bus window and saw a porter coming by with a basket on his back. He leaps from the windowsill and lands in the mango basket on his back. The porter, Jack Al-Fahmanur, introduces himself to Dr. Prasad and tells him about his job in cabin too.
Randy, I don't know what
Frog
happened.
reporter passed the triple roofed temple of Annapurna, goddess of plenty. Further on, they paid their respects to the beautiful village of Kali.
Shemak.
Later, he was chased by a dog and made his way to a drain. The combination of the bus ride, porter ride, and chase by an unfriendly city creature was enough to make anyone tired, and especially a chained frog on his first day out. Knowing he was secure in this little drain, Dr. Prasad decided to catch some sleep.
Look at the time counting down, 2, 3, 2, 1. I hate the sound of the siren here, so I'm gonna press stop. So let's do a little update here on how we're doing. We can do 2 minutes of overtime, which is gonna include closure. It seems like everyone's basically met our time goal, which is fantastic. I'm really stoked about how we're gonna do this. So Randy, Nate, how are you set?
We're just figuring out uploading.
Great, we have turn-in procedures.
You gotta upload ours.
Turn-in procedures.
Good.
Good. So that means you have those 2 sentences.
I'm missing one evidence, but I have the 2 sentences.
Fantastic. So if we have time, we were gonna share these, which I think we can do at some point. Maybe we'll work towards the end of our class or the beginning of our next class period. Do this as you're working on your turn-in procedures, and we can also hear from Hannah about change, because that's what I'm gonna make time for here. So let's do our closure about what it is that we learned here. So there are 2 things we need in a narrative. You recreated the story from the Polly Frog. What did you make sure you included, Nate? What's one of those?
Details,
Oh, details. What kind of details?
details from what describing how things are.
Good. So that describing is the one that I really want to make sure we pointed out. So descriptive details, right? You can include some details which may be boring, or you include descriptive details which tell us about how he's feeling. What color is Dr. Prasad? Was the river safe? Was it dangerous? Those descriptive details. Thank you. Randy, you got the second one?
Order of events.
Boom. Order of events. Can they be in any order, Amanda?
No, they need to be in that.
Specific order, right?
Yeah.
You know, you can't drown before you jump in the river, right? That's how it works. All right, now I want to talk about this change. So Hannah did a really good job of working on our reading fluency here. We're seeing this growth, this evolution in our reading abilities, and worked on 2 sentences here. So let's talk about his change here. So we've had these events. He's going to different places. How has this changed him, Hannah? Can you please share with us?
Yeah, 5% changes we can see he's now more compassionate.
Excellent. So he's more compassionate. And so we believe you. He's compassionate here. How did he get there? How does his environment make him more compassionate? What happened?
He has a encounter with Lama Lama, and
Lama Lama is a monk, just so he's like a priest. He's like a monk here. Thank you.
so through talking with him and like seeing outside of his hometown, he now thinks the world is much more interconnected, and that interconnectedness leads him to become more compassionate.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Hannah. Really good synthesis there. And we see the journey that he's gone on that you showed in your video. And we're going to be able to see those. And then a lot of those things that he encounters, those make an internal change for him. And as Hannah pointed out in what we read, he's is developing more interconnectedness, and this is having internal change based on this environment around it. And we're gonna explore a little bit how it happens in your life. Next class. Excellent work, thank you very much. Don't be late to class. All right.
I think I'll see.
Yeah.
Of what?
Oh.
I was tracking on Shannon again. That's good. What? Oh.
I was about to integrate him into the lesson also. All right.